Hello, Reignite family. I usually have an optimistic energy to my videos, but this is a really serious topic and I'm going to give it the respect that it deserves. There has been a 15.1% increase in deaths in Australia in 2022, based on the most recent release from the Australian Bureau of Statistics on the 24th of February. The release before that was 16% increase in deaths. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can help us raise awareness. So please watch this whole video. It's really, really easy for anyone to get involved. You have no excuse to help in some way, shape, or form. But the background is that I'm working with a retired medical journalist who has helped put this graph together. Now, when she started to see these releases from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, her first question was, well, is this normal? Because maybe it is, maybe it's happened before. So that's when she decided to compare it with historic data. So on the graph on the screen, and obviously you can click the links in the description to read more about it. But over the last 66 years, the highest increase that has ever happened is in 1964, which was 4.4% increase. The average over the last 66 years is actually minus 1.6. So excess death has been going down on average over the last 66 years. The last release on February 24th from the Australian Bureau of Statistics was a 15.1% increase. So this is almost 4 times ever in the last 66 years. The Australian Bureau of Statistics staff should be dropping every single project they have, dropping it all. This is all they should be focusing on. But instead, they're just putting out releases with 1 or 2 sentence quotes, and that's it. No one is answering any questions as to why there is such a huge increase. Now, I will tell you, just for information, that from the last release on February 24th, with the 15.1% increase, they do claim that 6% of that increase is due to COVID, but that still leaves 9.1% unexplained. That's still double it's ever been in the last 66 years. So even if those 6% are COVID deaths, what about the 9.1%? Why are we not getting answered? Why are we getting gaslit? And why do people like me, who, by the way, are funded by the people, I'm not funded by any government, this isn't my job, I'm not a data expert, I don't want to be doing this. I've had to really learn a lot of terminologies to actually even talk on this topic. And it's not fair. I shouldn't be doing it. It's not my job. It's the Australian Bureau of Statistics' job. But because they are not doing it and because the mainstream media aren't doing it, we are forced to do something about it. Now, I just hope that we can raise enough awareness with the projects that we have, that they are forced to do an investigation, and hopefully it's actually an independent investigation by people who are not implicated by what they did or said along the way as to why this increase has gone up. So anyway, that's the background. And here are the things that we are doing. The easiest thing that you can do, and the thing that takes no confrontation whatsoever, is to print flyers. Now, they're available on the website. You can print them in black and white from home and cut them into 4, or you can print them professionally and glossy, which would be even better. But at home is also great. When you go for walks around the neighborhood, put it in people's letterboxes, and you will walk home knowing 100% that you might have planted a seed, and maybe even more, because this data, it's so black and white, and it's from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, which is a trusted, statistical bureau, or whatever you want to call them. So the data is really, it's black and white. So I think it's a great letterbox drop. Secondly, we have the TruthBug driving around Melbourne at the moment with the graph on it. So if you can't hit the streets, or if you can't do letterbox dropping, please consider donating just $5 to help us with the petrol and to help us with the running costs of this truck. We also had to pay for the banners, of course, and there's people driving it all the time as well, and petrol and maintenance and things like that. So if you can't do anything to help us, $5 would really go a long way. So thanks for that. Number 3 is to download a social media tile and post it on your own social media. This is really, really easy. So even if you're doing 1, 2, or the next thing I'm going to talk about, you should definitely do this as well, because the data, again, it's so black and white. It's so obvious that it definitely is planting seeds all around the country and actually internationally as well. So number 4 is about hitting the streets. Now, you don't have to use a microphone like I did. If you don't have a microphone, you're likely going to get a lot more people willing to speak to you, and you'll actually you'll cover a lot more ground as well. I had about half of the people say no to me, but luckily I used to be in sales, so I can handle rejection. But without a camera, I think people are really going to be happy to talk to you. So All you need to do is print the graph on an A4 piece of paper, go down the streets, maybe go there with a little notepad as well and record the data. And then you can send us an email at admin@reignitedemocracyaustralia.com.au. Let us know how you went with the data. But you could probably speak to 50 people in about an hour. When I did the interviews, I actually did all of that in only an hour and a half, but I had the microphone, which obviously took a lot longer. But I think you could cover a lot of ground in a short period of time. Even while you're shopping, you could talk to a few people. But it is really an easy conversation to have, although it's depressing. The data is so black and white, and it's all resource and it's all factual. So it's really easy. Now, if you are going to hit the streets, make sure you get your head around the facts. So make sure you go to accessdeathstats.com and go to the Australia page and read it really thoroughly. Click on the resources so that you understand where the resources came from. Email us if you don't, if there's a few things you don't know. And also, I just did an interview with Maria Z, which will air on this Wednesday, and I will publish that as well. And in there's definitely a lot more content on what you can use to rebut people when they come up with reasons for the excess deaths. Now, if you want to use a microphone, that would be really exciting. And if you can send your video to us, we will publish it on Hit Street Media. And if we can get hundreds of people doing this around Australia, imagine how impactful that would be for these videos to go all around. Now, I only did this once and it's gone quite viral on TikTok. It's doing quite well on YouTube and a lot of people have seen it. So the more people we can get out there talking on the streets with or without a camera would be amazing. But guys, this is probably the most important awareness campaign that we've ever had. So please get involved on either 1, 2, 3, or 4. Do something to help. I promise you it'll feel good. And it's just so important because we need this investigation to happen. And I will also say that the mission of this campaign is not to prove our point as to why we think there is excess deaths. I am quite comfortable with the investigation showing something that I didn't think of. We all know what my opinion is. We all know what your opinion is on what the excess deaths are. But my suggestion is, when you're talking to the public, is to try to stay slightly unbiased, because the truth will float to the surface eventually. So the front-facing campaign is not indicating that it is the the jabs or anything like that. It's just asking, why don't we know? Why aren't there investigations? And we need answers. I think that's a really great message to use if you do talk to your friends and family. Obviously, if you want to be opinionated, that's your own choice, but I'm just letting you know the undertone of this campaign is not to put our opinion onto other people, but to plant seeds and hope that they figure it out on their own, right? So guys, this is really important. It's a depressing topic, but it's your duty as an Australian, as someone who's watched this video, to do something about it. So good luck out there, and I look forward to hearing how you go. See ya.